will hold you back. Your social circle, if you become really cool and then you introduce these amazing women to them, what are they going to do? Oh my God, you are so fit. Like that. They're going to make you look bad. Why are you dating him? You know, they'll do stuff like that that puts you down. They'll be like, oh, you know, that when he was young he pissed himself or something. Why are you doing this to me? But that's what they do. They try and hold you back. They get jealous. They try and make you look bad. My social circle now is equal or better than me. In some ways I might be better than them, in some ways they might be better than me. So we're all pretty much on a level, and they've brought me up. So I never used to be a very cool, confident person. I was the opposite. I was completely terrible. And the way I've moved up is by associating myself with people that are better than me. If you hang around with people that are the same as you, they legitimize your bad behavior. If you don't want to ever approach again, if you never want to talk to women, best thing is to go out with a guy that also doesn't approach women. And you can both say, oh yeah, we should approach her. Yeah, but we won't, will we? Let's just get a drink. And you're like, yeah, buddy, you know. And they make you feel good about failing. If you go out with a guy that is just constantly running around approaching, you start to think, shit, you know, I better start approaching. And he's like, go on, you should do it too. Yeah, let's do this, say this, come in with me, you know. And he starts pushing you along, and you get into it. And if you hung out with that guy every day for a few months, you would have no choice but to be doing the same thing. You're going to be doing the same thing after a while. Your social circle legitimizes your bad behavior. If your social circle all do drugs, I'll do drugs, you know, everyone else does, it's okay. If your social circle's all bad women, okay, that's fine, you know, they're all bad women. If your social circle's all out of shape and don't go to the gym and, you know, they all look as bad as you, they all got a little bit of a fat belly and stuff, and I don't need to be fit, keep in shape, that's all right, they don't do it. They legitimize your bad behavior. And that's why, you know, criminals hang out with criminals and drug addicts hang out with drug addicts, and everyone hangs out with each other because they legitimize that behavior. If someone started to change, he would make the others look bad. If I'm with a bunch of drug addicts and then I'm not doing it anymore, they're like, oh shit, no, carry on doing it. Because if you change, it means that, you know, you're going to make us look bad. We're going to look at you in a few months, you can have your life on track, and I'm still going to be this same guy doing drugs and stuff. It's like, no, don't, you know, you have to have some more, you know. And that's what happens. They want to hold you back, and they legitimize your bad behavior. So the first thing you need to understand is that your natural social circle is not necessarily the best for you. And what we're going to talk about is how to construct, create, and, you know, consciously make the people around you people that are going to be empowering, going to move you forwards, make you a better person, help you get women, and basically do everything to make your life a lot better. And it's all going to be easy. You know, going out and doing pickup is tough. You know, 30 approaches a night, and, you know, learning all this new stuff and keeping going and pushing yourself. But when you have a social circle, a lot of the work's already done. You're going to get introduced to people, you're going to get invited to places, and it makes things a lot easier. So it really is the easier way to game. And when you're conscious about it, that excuse that guys say to me, which is, you know, I can get women, but only the women in my social circle, it's going to be fine. Because you're going to have beautiful women in your social circle, and you're only going to be one step removed from pretty much any woman you want to meet. There are 3 ways to upgrade yourself and your social circle. First thing you can focus on is kind of self-betterment, you know, self-improvement. So you can try and become a cooler person and change your identity. If you have the identity of a socially shy, you know, loser guy that doesn't have any success, you can work on that yourself, and you can try and change that. You can find mentors and role models, people that completely outclass you in one area, and you can associate yourself with them, and they will bring you up as well. Just by exposure to these people, you're going to learn a hell of a lot. You can make new friends, and your social circle can shift in the right direction, and it'll pull you with it. So there are a few ways that you can improve yourself and upgrade your social circle. First thing I'm going to talk about is finding a mentor. It's something that I did by accident, but it had a massive, massive effect on me. Guys that have seen me speak a lot of times hear that I often mention a couple of key names that have really helped me over the years. A mentor is someone that is a trusted friend, advisor, or teacher, usually someone that's more experienced. That's the definition. The value of a mentor is that they've done everything that you want to do, or they have everything you want to have, and it can transfer. So when I looked at my life back in the day, I realised that I wasn't that cool, I wasn't that manly, I'd always grown up around women, I didn't have the alphaness, I wasn't sociable, I was naturally shy, I had all of these problems. And what I did was I trained myself to find people that completely outclassed me in the areas that I wanted to be good in. So my early mentors were people that weren't physically close to me, so they were from books, DVDs and things like that. So it was people like Milton Erickson, it was, you know, Colin Farrell, or, you know, famous actors. And one person that I did know was my friend Joe, and he was a mentor in a couple of ways, and the main way that he was fashion. So I would be out and I'd be wearing my big baggy trousers, I'd be wearing trainers, and I'd be wearing a Nike top, and I'd be wearing a huge leather jacket in the winter, and it was a size 2XL, and I'd be wearing this jacket. And at this time I started trading the stock market, and I'd go in shops and kind of look around, and then I'd notice that the security was coming, you know, keeping an eye on me. And I was like, hang on a minute, something's not quite right here, you know. I'm trying to dress, you know, to look cool, but I'm getting bad reactions from store people, getting bad reactions from women, and it's just not quite right. So I looked at my friend Joe, and he was pretty cool. He was the same age, but he was more mature, and he was getting all the girls, and you know, he was the most popular guy in college with the women. And I was like, what, you know, let's see here. So what's he wearing? And I asked him, what kind of brands are you wearing? What are you doing? And I was like, okay. And he was my fashion role model. So I could have got GQ, and I could have looked through it, and that would have been good. But I had this live role model, and he could tell me what he bought, what shops he went to, how he wore it. And that was the way I first started to shift my fashion. And the other role models were from books, from DVDs. If you read inspirational stories, if you read about Alexander the Great, or if you read about Edison, or these guys that are always mentioned, if you listen to Tony Robbins, if you listen to our own Matt Hussey, you know, these are inspirational people. It's tough the next day to just sit around and go, oh, I can't be bothered with that. You're not going to do it. You're going to be wanting to take action and do things. So by being exposed to these people through you know, the medium of books and films, I actually, you know, changed my perception and started to push out of my comfort zone and do things that I wouldn't necessarily do. They were my early role models. If you're reading books, or if you're watching DVDs, or if you're learning from not directly from the person, you're getting a slightly diluted and a mainstream version of it. So people that read my book, some of the people that read it might be great at approaching already, so they don't need too much on it, but they've got, you know, they've got a medium amount in the book on it. Some people that are great at conversation don't need the conversation bit. Some people that are really bad at the conversation need a whole book on conversation. So they're not getting a tailored approach, and they're not getting the source. If you can meet someone and hang around them and be exposed to them, you're getting what? You're getting the way they think, the way they view the world. You're getting their mindset. You're getting their beliefs. You're getting the first-hand communication. The best way to learn my pickup style would be to hang out with me for a few months, not read my book, because I don't exactly know everything I'm doing. I try and break it down. I look afterwards, I think, what happened there? Okay, I did this and did this. And luckily, sometimes I've got a friend with me that understands game really well. He says, oh no, you did this. I'm like, oh, cool. And then that's how we build our models of what happens. Sometimes we can film it or something, and then we understand it better. But if you're exposed to that person, you get to learn and just pick up things. When you hang out with your friends, over time you share vocabulary, don't you? You share mannerisms, and you've got this unconscious communication going on. If you can develop that with someone that is amazing, you're going to be picking up all of these amazing traits and mannerisms. When I first moved to London, I met a few people that were incredibly important to me, and it worked in a strange way. And this is what is incredibly important, is the mindset. So something that you should write down is that you want to meet people that totally outclass you in one particular area, or maybe many. And it needs to be an area that you want to be good at, obviously. You don't care if you meet someone that's a pole vault champion, if, you know, that doesn't have any value unless you want to be a pole vaulter. So I had my radar tuned for people that completely outclassed me. I wanted it, you know. I didn't have much ego. I knew I was a bit crap, you know, so I wanted to meet these people. And I went to a pickup artist social event in a pub, and there were 40 PUAs there. And I went in the room, and there was a guy with an LED belt flashing some message that the girls are meant to read. And there was, you know, these guys dressed in goggles and stuff. And I was like, okay, you know. And I was looking through the room, and then I saw two guys that looked really cool. And they, you know, they dressed quite well. They stood, and they looked normal. They looked like cool guys, the kind of guy that I wanted to be. And I went directly towards them. So in that club, in that bar, I might have thought, right, I want a wingman who's on my level. So, oh, he looks good. He's a bit nervous. He's not dressed very well. Yeah, he looks about right. How you doing? Are you just starting out? Yeah, me too. Let's buddy up. Let's go out together. That's a pretty rational thing to think, right? That's probably what most people in that room did. But I didn't. I went in and I was like, I don't want to be like him. I don't want to be, cool guys. And I went over and I met my first role model was Tao and Steve. They were my first role models. Tao is someone, he's older than me, he's experienced, he's slept with loads of women, he's confident, he's very sexual. You know, I was someone that thought sex was dirty, and I was, you know, I'd scared to take my clothes off and didn't know that women enjoyed sex, and I had all these limiting beliefs about sex. He didn't. He's got all of the right beliefs about it. He was a manly man, you know. I'd been all my life living with my mum. You know, no one taught me to shave or, you know, played football with me or did anything like that. I didn't have those alpha qualities. They didn't rub off on me because I wasn't exposed to them. The other guy I met was Steve, and Steve was he's still like the most alpha guy I've ever met. Incredibly confident, incredibly, you know, the best game I've ever seen as well. And I always say, you know, great things about him, and he was a fantastic role model. I'd be out with him, and I'd be like, oh, I'm scared to keno or something. He's like, oh, just grab her, just do it. You know, she likes it, just do it like this, do that. And I was like, wow, and he blew my mind in so many ways, just by being exposed to him and seeing his beliefs, the things that allowed him to go into a club, go straight up to a girl, be really quickly kissing her, take her out. I'm like, wow, it's possible. You know, that's what it is. And he had these amazing qualities that I didn't have. He was very manly, very alpha, very confident. He was incredibly sexual with girls. You know, he'd escalate super quickly. He was very funny, and I wasn't at all. I wasn't funny at all. And he showed vulnerability. He was quite emotional. So he had this amazing mix of characteristics that was really attractive to women. I decided in that moment, when I met these two guys, that I wanted to hang out with them. So I wasn't cool enough. They would look to me and they were like, that's probably the facial expression they put, like, who's this dweeb, you know, he's not as cool as us, what's going on here? But I managed to get in with them, and I did it by meeting them and first I wasn't going to try and show off to them, I wasn't going to try and AMOG battle them, I wasn't going to use any PUA tactics, nothing like that. I gave them, you know, I would buy them a drink if they wanted, I'd do whatever, you know, I wanted to get in with these guys. I didn't have to buy them drinks, I don't think. But I did it like this. I traded the stock market, and Tal was quite interested in the stock market. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll show you sometime. Come around my house and I'll show you how to make money on the stock market. Pretty good offer, right? So it's like, okay, cool. You know, I'm in with that guy. The other guy, Steve, I just gave complete access. So I said, you know, anytime you want to come hang out at my house, anytime this, you know, anything you need, just call me, blah, blah, make friends. If I was out with him, I'd go and talk to girls and then introduce him. I'd just do all of these things that would try and build my value with these people, because I realised that they were cooler than me, you know, and we couldn't be on a level yet. I could have been on a level with the other guys in the room, but not with those guys. So I used my bargaining chips, and I was genuine, and I was nice, and I was open. I did things that most guys don't do. You know, when was the last time you got a compliment from a guy? Or when was the last time a guy was just genuine with you and just, you know, being nice to you and not trying to get anything? So I was very authentic and genuine with these guys.